What is a polygon? A polygon is a two-dimensional figure composed of straight line segments that meet at the endpoints. So when I talk about straight line segments, this is what I mean. From whatever I've captured here, I've got 6 straight line segments. And to emphasize my point, I've captured the diagram of a circle here. And I've said that a circle is formed by curving one line segment and joining its endpoints at the least. That means you can have many more curved line segments. But then we've said here that a polygon is a two-dimensional figure composed of straight line segments. So since these lines are not straight lines, a circle is not a polygon. With me here is a table where I've captured the name of the polygon and the number of sides or the number of straight line segments used, represented by the letter N. So the first polygon is a triangle, 3 sides. The second one represents all the quadrilaterals, where we have the square, the rectangle, the trapezium, the rhombus, the parallelogram, and the kite. Those are 4-sided. And then we've got the third one, the pentagon, 5-sided. The fourth one, hexagon, 6-sided. The fifth one, the heptagon, 7-sided. The sixth one, octagon, 8-sided. The seventh one, nonagon, 9-sided. And the last one here, number 8, decagon, 10-sided. Let's consider the 5 laws that apply to polygons. I'm going to use the pentagon to help me describe the angles. So the angles that I've captured with the letter X, we refer to them as interior angles. And then the ones that I've captured with the letter Y, we refer to them as exterior angles. So from what you can see in the diagram is that exterior angles are obtained by coming up with straight line extensions from the vertices where the interior angles are. The first law: interior angle plus exterior angle will be equal to 180 degrees. And this one relies on the principle that angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. The second law: sum of interior angles of a polygon will be equal to 180n minus 360. The third law: size of one interior angle will be equal to 180n minus 360 over n. The fourth law: sum of exterior angles of a polygon will be equal to 360 degrees. The fifth law: size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees over n. Let's consider the following questions. Number 1. The ratio of the interior angle to the exterior angle of a regular polygon is 9:1. Find the number of sides of the polygon. 2 marks. Solution. In this question, we are going to rely on the first law, which says that interior angle plus exterior angle will be equal to 180 degrees. And then we've been given the ratio in relation to the interior angle and the exterior angle to be equal to 9:1. And the total of this ratio is 10. So the interior angle will take care of 9 out of 10 of 180 degrees, and the exterior angle will take care of 1 out of 10 of 180 degrees, since these two angles add up to 180 degrees. So therefore, the solution to this one here, we are going to get the interior angle to be equal to 162 degrees. And then the solution for the exterior angle will be equal to 18 degrees. But then the question is asking us to find the number of sides of the polygon. Now, to find the number of sides of the polygon, we are going to use the fifth law, which states that the size of one exterior angle of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees over n. Our exterior angle here is 18, so we are going to have 18 to be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And then we multiply both sides by n to get rid of the denominator. So we're going to end up having 18n to be equal to 360 degrees. And then we divide both sides by 18 so that we get the value of n. So we're going to get here that the value of n will be equal to 20. And this is the solution. The second question. The difference between the interior angle and the exterior angle at each vertex of a regular polygon is 162 degrees. Find the number of sides of the polygon. 3 marks. Solution. So there are two ways in which you can answer this question. The first one is to consider the simultaneous equation method, where we say that interior angle plus exterior angle will be equal to 180 degrees. Whenever you see an interior angle and an exterior angle being mentioned, just know that those two angles will add up to 180 degrees. And this will form our first equation. Now, the second equation, we'll get it from the question where we are told that the difference between the interior angle and the difference between the interior angle and the exterior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 162 degrees. So this will form our second equation. So then we now solve these simultaneous equations. I can use the elimination method, and I'm going to eliminate x by subtraction. So therefore x minus x here will be equal to 0. And then since I've used the negative sign, I'm going to use the negative sign for the remaining two terms. So in this term here, having y, we are going to have positive y to subtract negative y. And we know that negative times negative is equal to positive. So this is the same as positive y plus y. We end up getting 2y as our solution. So 2y will be equal to 180 minus 162, which is equal to 18. And then we divide both sides by 2. We end up getting the value of y to be equal to 9. Then if you want to find the value of x, you substitute for y in one of the equations. I can substitute in the first equation where I talk of x plus y, which is 9, to be equal to 180 degrees. And therefore x will be equal to 180 degrees, subtract 9 degrees. So we end up getting here that x will be equal to 171 degrees. So y represents the exterior angle and x represents the interior angle. Now, the question is asking us to find the number of sides of the polygon. Again, we use the fifth law, which states that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees over n. And for this case, our exterior angle is 9. So you're going to have here that 9 will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And therefore we multiply both sides by n to get rid of the denominator. So we end up getting 9n to be equal to 360 degrees. And then we divide both sides by 9. We end up getting the value of n to be equal to 40. And this is the solution. Another way in which you can answer this question is by considering the laws. We know that the size of one interior angle will be equal to 180n minus 360 divided by n degrees. We also know that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And this is according to the third law, and this other one here is according to the fifth law. So then we'll be in a position to say that the difference between the interior angle, so this is the interior angle here, the difference between the interior angle and the exterior angle will be equal to 162 degrees. So we then simplify this equation by multiplying each term by the multiplication by n. We multiply each term by n so that we get rid of the denominators. So you realize that this one here will cancel out, this one also will cancel out. We are left with 162n on this other side. So these other terms remain the way they are. We are going to have here 180n minus 360 and then minus 360 to be equal to 162n. This will be equal to, if to complete this one here, I'll say that 180n minus 720 will be equal to 162n. And then I put like terms together. So I take 162n to the other side of the equal sign. I'll have 180n subtract 162n. This should be equal to, now I take the whole number to the other side of the equal sign. It becomes a positive number. So we end up with 18n here, the subtraction of these two numbers, to be equal to 720 degrees. And therefore, when you divide both sides by 18, you're going to get the value of n to be equal to 40. And this is the solution. The third question. The size of an interior angle of a polygon is 4 times that of an exterior angle. Find the number of sides of the polygon. 3 marks. Again, in this question, we can consider the simultaneous equation method, where we say that interior angle plus exterior angle is equal to 180 degrees. And then the second one, we can talk about, we have been told here that the size of an interior angle of a polygon, is equal to 4 times that of its exterior. So this is our first equation, and this is our second equation, which you can straight away solve using substitution, where there is x in the first equation, we substitute with the value of x in the second equation. So I can have 4y to represent x here, so that I solve for one unknown. So I'm going to say here that 4y plus y is equal to 180 degrees. So I've substituted for x in the first equation with 4y. So we end up having here that 5y is equal to 180 degrees. And when you divide both sides by 5, we end up getting y to be equal to 36 degrees. And this is the exterior angle. I don't need to find the interior angle because my interest here is finding the number of sides of the polygon. So straight away I go to the fifth law, which states that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And since my exterior angle here is 36, I'm going to have here 36 will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And then we get rid of the denominator by multiplying both sides by n. So we end up having 36n to be equal to 360 degrees. And therefore we divide both sides by 36. We end up getting the value of n, which represents the number of sides, to be equal to 10. Another way of solving this is by considering the laws. We know that the size of one interior angle will be equal to 180n minus 360 divided by n. And we know that the size of one exterior angle, so this is interior angle, the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees over n. And this is according to the third law, and this is according to the fifth law. So then we'll be in a position to say here that the size of one interior angle of a polygon, so I can have here 180n minus 360 divided by n, the size of one interior angle of a polygon will be equal to 4 times the size of the exterior angle, which is 360 degrees over n. And therefore we solve for n here. So we can first of all begin by multiplying 4 times 360. We end up getting 1440. So 1440 divided by n here will meet 180n minus 360 divided by n. And then we get rid of the denominator n by multiplying each term by n. So they're going to cancel out. So you remain with 180n minus 360 degrees to be equal to 1440. And therefore, we put like terms together, we end up having here 180n will be equal to 1440. And then we divide both sides, and then we add. We are putting like terms together. We add 360 because it is moving to the other side of the equal sign. So we end up having, let me cancel this. We end up having 180n to be equal to the sum of these two numbers, which is 1800. And therefore, when you divide both sides by 180, you're going to get the value of n to be equal to 10. So these two methods can work. Question 4. In a regular polygon, each interior angle is x degrees and each exterior angle is x minus 36 over 3 degrees. Find angle x degrees, 1 mark. And then the second question, find the number of sides of the polygon, 2 marks. Solution. So we are going to say here, we are going to use the first law, which states that interior angle plus exterior angle will be equal to 180 degrees. And in this question, you're being told that the interior angle is x and the exterior angle is x minus 36 over 3 degrees. This should be equal to 180 degrees. Now, let's solve for the equation here. We can decide to get rid of the denominator here by multiplying each term by 3. So you multiply this one by 3, you multiply this term here by 3, and the third term here also by 3. So here we end up having 3x plus x minus 36 to be equal to 540. And then we put like terms together. We are going to have 4x to be equal to 540. We take this negative number to the other side of the equal sign. It becomes positive, so plus 36. We end up having 4x to be equal to 576. And then we divide both sides by 4 so that we get the value of x. So x will be equal to 144 degrees. And then Roman 2, we are being told to find the number of sides of the polygon. Now, to find the number of sides of the polygon, we need to use the easier method of the size of one exterior angle. So I first of all find the value of y, which is the exterior angle. I can talk of the interior angle being 144 plus y to be equal to 180 degrees. And therefore y will be equal to 180 degrees minus 144 degrees. So the value of y is equal to 36. And this is the exterior angle. Therefore, we will be in a position to use the fifth law, which says that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees over n. And our exterior angle here is 36. So we'll be in a position to say that 36 degrees will be equal to 360 degrees over n. And then you get rid of the denominator n by multiplying by n on both sides. We end up getting 36n to be equal to 360 degrees. And therefore, when you divide both sides by 36, you end up getting the value of n to be equal to 10. And this is the solution. The fifth question. The exterior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 1/3 of the interior angle. Calculate the number of sides of the polygon. 3 marks. So in this question, I can consider the solution using the simultaneous equation method, where I use the first law, which states that interior angle plus exterior angle will be equal to 180 degrees. And then, so this will serve as our equation 1. And then our equation 2, we are going to get it by considering the equation here, the question here, where we are told the exterior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 1/3 of the interior angle. So that means if you have our interior angle to be equal to x, our exterior angle will be equal to 3y. So 3 of the exterior angles will make the interior angle as per the statement there. So this will be our equation 2. So we're going to substitute the second equation in the first equation, where there is x, I substitute with 3y. So I'll be in a position to say that 3y plus y is equal to 180 degrees. And therefore, when you add, you're going to have here 4y to be equal to 180 degrees. And then when you divide both sides by 4, you're going to get the value of y to be equal to 45 degrees. And this is the exterior angle. Now, to get the number of sides, we use the fifth law, where we say that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees over n. So 45 will be equal to 360 over n. And then we multiply by n on both sides to get rid of the denominator. We end up having 45n to be equal to 360 degrees. And therefore, when you divide both sides by 45, we are going to get the value of n to be equal to 8. Another way in which you can solve this question is by considering the laws. So we are being told here that the exterior angle of a regular polygon, and as per the fifth law, we've said that the exterior angle is equal to 360 degrees over n. So we are being told here that the exterior angle of a regular polygon is equal to 1/3 of the interior angle, and according to law number 3, we've said that the interior angle will be equal to 180n minus 360 degrees over n. So this is the equation that you're having. Now, we use this equation to find the number of sides and we'll get the value of n directly. So we'll be in a position to say here that 360 over n will be equal to, of here means multiplication, so I can decide to open the brackets with 1 for the numerator. We end up having 180n minus 360, and then I can decide to open the bracket on the denominator by 3, so I'll have here divided by 3n. Now, to get rid of the denominators, I can decide to multiply each of these terms by 3n, and I also multiply here by 3n. So on this other side, I'll be left with 180n minus 360 degrees. On this other side, the n will cancel. I'll be left with 3 to multiply 360 degrees. So then, when you multiply 3 times 360, you're going to get 1080. So 1080 will be equal to 180n minus 360 degrees. And therefore, 180n will be equal to, when I take this number to the other side of the equal sign, it will become positive. So I'll talk of 1080 plus 360. So therefore, 180n will be equal to the sum of these two numbers, which will be 1440. And then we divide both sides by 180 to get the value of n. So when you divide these two numbers, you're going to get the value of n to be equal to 8. Our next number, number 6, we are being told that in a regular polygon, the size of an interior angle is 20 degrees more than 3 times the size of its exterior angle. Find the number of sides of the polygon. 3 marks. So we can decide to use the simultaneous equations method, where we say that the interior angle plus the exterior angle is equal to 180 degrees. This is our equation 1. And then the second equation, you can get it by considering the fact that we are told here that the size of an interior angle is 20 more than 3 times the size of the exterior angle. That means when you take the interior angle and subtract 20, it will be equal to 3 times the size of the exterior angle. And therefore we can rearrange this so that we get we can have here x minus 3y. That means I'm taking this to the other side of the equal sign, and then to be equal to, I take this negative number to the other side of the equal sign to be equal to 20, and this will serve as our equation 2. So then I can solve these two equations, the first equation being that one and the second equation being that one, by eliminating x, and I will be in a position to eliminate x by subtraction. So then I'll have here 0, and then I'll have positive y minus negative 3y. Negative times negative is positive. It means you're going to add. So y plus 3y, we are going to end up with 4y to be equal to, and then on this other side I'll have 180 to subtract 20. I'll have here 160 degrees. And then we divide both sides by 4 to get the value of y. So you end up getting here the value of y to be equal to 40 degrees. Now, we are being told here to find the number of sides. So I can decide to go direct, since y represents the exterior angle. The exterior angle. I don't need to find the interior angle, but I can be in a position to tell that if exterior angle is 40, the interior angle is definitely 140 degrees to make 180 degrees. So then we use the fifth law, which states that the size of one exterior angle will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. And the value of n, the size of the exterior angle, we know it's 40 degrees. So 40 degrees will be equal to 360 degrees divided by n. Again, we multiply by n on both sides to get rid of the denominator. We end up getting 4n to be equal to 360 degrees. And therefore, we divide by 40 on both sides. We end up getting the value of n to be equal to 9. Another way is to consider the laws directly. So we can consider here that the interior angle of a polygon, which is 180n minus 360 over n, is 20 more than 3 times the size of the exterior angle. So that means when I take the interior angle and I subtract 20 degrees, I will be in a position to get 3 times the size of the exterior angle, which is 360 degrees over n. And therefore, all I need is to solve for the value of n in this equation. So we can align the terms by talking of 180 n minus 360 degrees divided by n, subtract 20. This should be equal to, I can multiply this number, and then I'll get here 1080 divided by n. And then now I multiply each term by n to get rid of the denominators. And remember, terms are separated by addition, subtraction, or equal sign. So for this case, this will be a term on its own because everything is over n. So I'm going to multiply that one by n. I also multiply this one here by n, and the last term here by n. This one will disappear, this one will disappear. I'm left with n here. So I'll end up having 180n minus 360 and then minus 20n to be equal to 1080. And then I can put like terms together by talking of 180n minus 20n to be equal to 1080 plus 360 degrees. On subtraction here, I'll get 160n to be equal to the addition of these two numbers, which will lead me to 1440. And then we divide both sides by 160. We end up getting the value of n to be equal to 9.